It's so dark down here, it's like being in the shadow of a black hole. I can't go any further down without running the risk of injuring myself. Okay, different materials have different temperatures. Now I can make out what's around me again. These characters are clearly Arcanide script. From the look of things, there seems to be a much more complex relationship between the Arcanides and the Illochim. Trade, writings, diplomacy, but you'd have to be an archaeologist to decipher this properly. A transmitter. I wonder if it can be activated somehow. Unless I'm very much mistaken, these characters haven't been painted at all. They look like they're made of cheapus, an Arcanide photoactive plastic material which reacts to colored light. Hello? I'd like to speak to the director of the museum. No one here. I suppose that was obvious. They're gone, but at least now I know that Mandra's alive. What's that? It looks like a pen, but it could just as well be some kind of electronic tool. I hope I was looking my best if I had an audience the whole time. A positronic. If this is really a branch of the Turacell, I'll surely be able to find out some revealing information. So, if I can trust my knowledge of Arcanide, this Cato is no longer a member of the Turacell. He was a member of a special unit when he was quite young, a highly decorated Krolocene. In other words, one of the so-called bloodhounds of the Crystal Imperium. But he was later dishonorably discharged because... I don't understand that part. Something to do with Lacrotrati, his superior, and he was to be executed. But then he became Scorgon, invisible. Cato's obviously good at covering his tracks. And of course there's not the slightest mention of him now being the museum director on Titan. Looks like sloppy work on the part of the Secret Service. Or perhaps not. The name Takeo Dezina keeps cropping up in connection with him. She seems to be his accomplice. Let's have a look at what the Turacell has to say about her. She's not exactly an amateur either, if what's written here is true. A really brutal girl. Several previous convictions, been in jail several times, but always managed to escape. Now I'm curious as to what they've written about me. Very interesting. In their eyes, I'm an arrogant usurper who's obtained immortality by fraudulent means. The organization has very little regard for my abilities, since I don't even come from a noble Terran family. All my peacemaking efforts with the Arcanides are described here as successes on the part of the Arcanide government in keeping the Terran aggressor at bay, etc. It's always nice to know how much your colleagues appreciate you. When I look at this, I feel like a lab rat being subjected to wacky experiments. The museum director, I have a strong suspicion that he's this Cato de Trumort, has obviously been looking for something here. But what is it about this ancient myth that he finds so interesting? A Turacell badge. It could be quite a useful thing to hold on to. Ah, Violon Trona. The equivalent of our truth serum. If she's been given that, Mondra will have told Cato even her most intimate secrets. Quite a hefty breach of the Galactic Civil Rights Convention. I really don't want to know all the things they've been doing here with Mondra. The Turacell isn't known for being squeamish, especially not with Terrans.